Bengals have a guy who can smash it up the middle, and Joe Mixon. He had a solid game against the Bills on Sunday. One of the things that needed to happen for the Bengals to go in there and do what they did to the Buffalo Bills. So when they have the ball, let's focus on the Week 13 game between the two teams when the Bengals got their third win of calendar year 2022 over Kansas City. What stood out to you from the Kansas City defense trying in vain to bottle up the Cincinnati offense?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a tough task. We know that. I think the first thing we start off with, Mike, is again, the offensive line, right? I mean, you heard me on previous weeks on Football Night in America. I made comments like I think the Bengals are the most complete team in the AFC and all of that. But, I mean, we saw the last game of the regular season. We saw the wild card round against Baltimore where the offensive line looked like crap. They couldn't open up a hole, and they couldn't protect Joe Burrow at all. Then last week, they were really damn good. And again, I think some of that's Buffalo lacks, the blue chip players that we discussed so much on Monday and Tuesday, but I guess that's the first thing. And I even ask you with your pasta and meatballs, what do you think? Do you think we're going to see another offensive line performance like that where they're going to open up 5-foot holes for Joe Mixon and he's going to be ripping up the middle for 10 yards every time he touches the ball?
Well, like you said,
it's a different D-line here.
It's a different defensive line. They got Chris Jones.
Exactly.
They got Chris Jones in Kansas City. And they got Frank Clark in Kansas City. And, the Bills weren't as suited as the Chiefs are to take advantage of the fact that 60% of the starting offensive line is gone.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's kind of how I feel too. I don't think it's going to be, as easy, at least. I don't expect it to be. There's more size on the Chiefs D-line, and they got a few guys that can go above and beyond like we talk about. And I think Chris Jones and Frank Clark, Chris Jones is the best defensive tackle in football. Frank Clark can make plays. Karlaftis makes plays. So that's the interesting part. But here's one of my things, Mike, and the interesting part. Well, we know Burrow and the weapons are awesome too. We do. And one of the things that has jumped out to me when I go back and watch the Bengals-Chiefs last few matchups, a little is just that I think the formula has been too simple for Joe Burrow. That would be the first thing that makes sense to me. And guys, I know we have the tape, so let's play that here. And don't start it yet. If you could pause it just for a second and rewind it, and let's restart it one more time. But Mike, here's one thing. I just want to explain it before we let the tape roll. The Chiefs, especially early in the year, even in Week 13, they were still in this where it was like, hey, we're either going to blitz or we're going to disguise and make it look like a blitz, and then we're going to end up in some form of cover two. And, hey, it was working, and they're good, and they're talented, and they're good at their disguises. That's all good. But it's not going to work against the elite. Kind of like you were talking about, like in the most important time of the year, with the good defenses. It's not going to do it against Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or the top quarterbacks in football because they can get to and go, okay, wait, I have enough clues or this is the blitz. Oh, wait, this is not the blitz, and they're going to drop out and play their cover two. And that's all you had to worry about was like, hey, Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow, we just got to have our blitz plays and our cover two plays. And it should really kind of work about all their versions of cover two. And here's a play to explain that here, guys. So here he goes, Mike. See, the safety's down, right? And you can play the tape when you guys are ready. He's in a dummy snap count. He sees the safety kind of creep back. He gets to the play he wants to. And, really with all cover two plays, whether it's 4 deep or cover two, all the plays kind of work over. I want to see them do more of this, Mike. And again, can we rewind this just to the start of this play, if you don't mind? Look at this. Is to me, they're down 14-3, and they finally realized, wait, we can't just play cover two. Burrow's going to pick us apart, and we're going to die a slow death. So now they're down 14-3, and they started to go, we got to force the issue and complicate things a little bit. So here you see this look, right, Mike? People at the line of scrimmage. I don't know who's blitzing, who's going. They're going to end up doubling Chase at the top of the screen. And then they're going to leave some people man-to-man. But you got to take a few calculated risks. Just like when you play Mahomes, I think the same thing happens here with Burrow. And you see here, they don't blitz anybody, right? But they confuse the offensive line a little bit. Now we got a guy coming around the edge. And Burrow's like, oh, wait, I don't know what coverage this is. And, of course, it adds to, some pause and some reluctance of what's going on and stops the machine from rolling. That is a big aspect to me that the Chiefs have to do more of that than just that simple formula I explained on that first play.
Yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase is the key. You have to find a way to contain him.
Definitely.
And not have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd kill you. And also Hayden Hurst.
Exactly.
Tight end had a big game on Sunday against the Bills. You account for the 3 receivers, Hayden Hurst can still make things happen. I remember last year when they let C.J. Uzomah go, like, oh, he's a pretty big weapon for that team. Then in comes Hayden Hurst, and, man, he had a very important and significant game on Sunday against the Bills, and he could be a big part of that passing game as well. So the Chiefs are going to have their hands full.
Right.
They really are.
They are. You're right.
And we know that. We're not surprised by that. That this Bengals team is going to put anyone in a position where they're going to have their hands full defensively.
Definitely.
Even with those injuries to the offensive line.
That's right. That's going to take a special game plan. Now, the thing that's encouraging is the Chiefs have started, really almost from that point of the season on, started to do more and more on the defensive side of the ball. I think they started to trust their young guys a little more to where they started to get into a little bit more exotic, different coverages. I think you got to do some of that. Listen, you're going to do some of that. Burrow's they're going to make a few plays too. And you know, don't get it messed up. But so what? It also got them off the field a few times in that last football game because as we saw last week, Burrow is the best zone quarterback in football. If you play zone, you're screwed. If he has protection, he's going to manipulate it. And as soon as one guy's just a hair out of their zone, it's boom. Oh, it's boom. And then it's boom. Oh, wait, I'm looking at that guy. Oh, boom. And now I got a 30-yard gain down the middle. He's amazing that way. So they got the guys that can play man-to-man from time to time. You don't want to live in that. But they, like you talked about with Lou Anarumo, they got to change the looks up on Burrow. He can't be so comfortable where he just goes, oh, it's a cover 2 game. Okay, hey, Zach, let's get to all the cover 2 plays, and we'll start dissecting them that way. You got to change the recipe, you know, on a consistent basis to mess with Burrow in this offense.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.